Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of The Nexus. I'm Lisa Dwan and here in the studio with me is Gabe.
Hey, hey.
And we got Ryan over there.
What's up?
So today we're joined by a very special guest. Let's give a warm welcome to Phoenix One's Inori. Hey, hello.
Hey, Inori.
Good
Hello.
morning. How are you doing today?
I'm alright.
Yeah?
Just woke up like 30 minutes ago.
The fact that you guys wake up before noon Pacific time is quite honestly
very impressive.
impressive to me. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
are you guys normally awake at this time?
Yeah, we wake up around like 10 a.m. mostly.
Wow.
Around, that time.
Esports is changing.
For us, like working folk, full-time folk, that's shocking.
So, you guys wake up around this time. What's your normal schedule like?
We just like warm up, eat our kind of late breakfast, and then we get into practice.
Wow, very fun. Who makes the breakfast though?
We have a Korean cook.
A Korean cook?
Korean cook?
Specifically a Korean cook.
Do you
He
only
specializes in Korean food? Yeah,
So do you only eat Korean food then?
for the most part. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Wow, and you're cool with that.
yeah, I like Korean food. It's really good, and I got used to it a lot.
Wow.
So what happens, like, when the team goes out for dinner or whatever? Are you going out to, like,
Korean food?
KBBQ
Nah.
or...
I mean, quarters is really good, but
Oh my god. Everyone in esports talks about quarters. What is the magic of quarters?
there's just not that many good Korean barbecue places, so
Except for that.
quarters just shines, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, we go to other places like sushi, and we don't really go out for Korean food because we have so much Korean food here.
Yeah.
So we just grab other food when we go out, like sushi.
I'm sensing a East Asian cuisine
Trend.
trend here.
Trend.
Where's the In and Out? Come on.
Okay.
I mean, when it's 12 o'clock and there's nothing open but In-N-Out, sometimes we get it.
Fair.
Okay, I'm actually really curious. Oh, there's someone walking in the background. What is it like living with the other P1 guys? What's the house dynamic? Do you guys share rooms at all?
Yeah, I think most of us do. Almost Derek. We were sharing a room for a while since the start, and I think Arrow and the supports share a room.
Oh, whoa. Working on that synergy 24 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, he's surrounded by his supports.
I hear he can't even put his clothes on by himself. He just needs help from his supports all the time. They do everything for him. That's not true, guys. Don't quote me on that.
That's an
That's
interesting
totally made up. Wait, so you used to be roommates with top laner Zig, right? What happened?
Still is.
Still is?
No, still am.
Yeah,
Me and
yeah.
him share.
Oh, so when you guys are living together, do you guys have like annoying habits? Is there anything that he does that annoys you? He's right there too, right beside you, right? So you can literally look at him and tell him.
I feel like maybe when he used to go to bed really early, I'd be like, "Goddamn, Derek!" But now I'm going to bed early too, so it
He's
kind of
changed
equals out.
you.
Yeah.
Wow, good influence, good influence. And actually, I've seen some pictures of your house. Don't you guys have like a jacuzzi or something? It's pretty.
Yeah, it broke down a while ago
Oh.
though. So we won't use it. We're gonna get it fixed though. It should be better. It should be fixed soon.
Oh, nice. I'm so jealous. And you guys have a cat too, don't you? Doesn't Ryu have a cat?
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
It's like the team cat now.
Yeah?
What's its name?
It's called Rengar. Yeah, they had an option of choosing between like Nexus or Phoenix or some shit,
Yeah.
but I think everyone wanted it to be Rengar.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you had
Yeah, you definitely
voted
had
for
some
that
input.
one.
No, I didn't want a cat.
What?
God. The cats are so active at night.
Are they? Are they?
At night, yeah. That is an
And now that you sleep early, that's an issue,
Yeah.
apparently.
Just like lock your door, you'll be fine.
The cat somehow gets through. They can
Somehow?
open doors. I don't know how they do it. So are
they
you
find a way.
are you more of a dog person?
Yeah, I'm just more of a non-animal person right
No
now, I
pets.
guess.
No pets, only
Aw.
League of Legends players.
When I get like my own place, I'll probably have a pet, but
Fair.
I guess
Yeah.
you're too much work.
mhm.
All right. Well, let's dive into talking about this week because P1 had, I would say, a great week.
Really good week.
A really good week.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
guys.
congratulations. So P1 won both of their series. They were
Yep.
playing against FlyQuest and Equifox.
Yep.
And they were both 2-0s. Pretty
Clean
decisive.
sweep. Yeah.
Pretty decisive. However, this week you played, I think, 1 game out of the 4,
Yeah.
right? So the question is, how does the team decide which jungler to play? Do you guys have a way to decide that?
Normally the coach would choose, but because of last week, we had a support change, and a lot of stuff was kind of going on, so it was hard to like make it. Like, it was just a lot of stuff was going on, so it was safer to just go with Meteos, and I agree with that. I think he's playing really well, and normally we split the scrim blocks, so
Cool.
I'm still getting practice and everything, and I don't know, maybe next week it'll be different, but we'll just have to see.
So does it have to do with style then? So you said Meteos was safer. Is he safer because he plays
Like a
safer
safer style?
picks? Yes, some less high risk, high reward type plays, or is there some other reason that he's a safer pick for the team right now?
I think he's much more experienced and he takes much less risks, and also his champ pool is like perhaps it's more fitting for the team right now, but I'm not too sure. It's hard to tell.
Right.
I think he has like a pretty unique champ pool. He doesn't really play like the same stuff everyone else does. He kind of pulls out his own picks.
We're talking about that Zach?
Yeah, the
Olaf.
Zach. I think it's pretty cool,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it's working out for the team, and whatever works for the team is the most important thing.
How closely do you guys work together? Like, for example, does he give you tips on maybe champions you're not used to and vice versa?
Yeah, we do a lot of talking, especially like during LCS days. We're in the room together,
Right.
so like we kind of go over like jungle stuff, jungle pathing, and we just talk about it. I enjoy it a lot. I like being able to watch over like someone who's been in the scene for like for so many years, and I don't know, I think it's a good opportunity for me because I can only learn from him.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm getting much more information and like better practice because I can watch him play too.
Is he, by the way, did he move into the house with you guys? Or where is Meteos living
He's
with you guys?
in LA, but he has his own place right now.
Oh, I see.
Okay. What is working with Meteos like? Because personality-wise, because, you know, he has a reputation of being a huge memer. So when you
A
work
little
with
bit.
him, is there like a Meteos that's a memer, and then there's Meteos that's really
Memeos.
serious?
Memeos?
Memeos? Or
Wait,
like
he-
super serious?
He's really funny, but he knows how to be professional. So it's really nice working with him. I think everyone likes him here.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has any problems with him.
Cool. Now, we've seen a lot of teams do the whole, you know, subs, like teams like SKT who are really successful at using subs. I think C9 has also been alternating Impact and Ray a
And
lot
Ray,
too
yep.
recently.
And Dignitas used to alternate X Special and Stunt quite a bit.
Yeah. So do you think having subs on a team and like being able to switch back and forth is a good thing?
I definitely think it's an advantage if your team can manage it well. And
Right.
I think our team is trying to manage it well, but it's hard to really tell because it's like one of them is like inexperienced compared to the other, so it's kind of like, yeah. But if they have different styles, you can always utilize one style for like one pick and ban and the other for the next. So I think it does have advantages, and I think it's really good if you can utilize it. I think that's why some teams are doing it, and if we're able to do it as well, I think it's a big advantage.
Do you think any NA LCS team at the moment does it well?
I don't think so. I think some Korean teams do it well,
Yeah.
and I think NA teams are doing it just to prep the other player. They're not necessarily doing it because they're two equal like stats players. Like I think most teams are doing it because they just have two people in that position. So it's like, let's just try to get both of them some practice and see how they kind of grow as players.
That's interesting.
Do you think that that is a symptom of Spring Split not being as important, so they have the opportunity and time kind of to do
just
that
give
and
practice.
give practice
Yeah.
time to people?
I think it is slightly, but I think a lot of teams treat all splits serious in a way where it's like it's important to like have good standings even in spring.
Right.
Not it's just not comparable to summer, but it's still important in a way because like you don't want to be at the bottom of the standings.
You want
it just
the
looks bad
points.
on the org. Yeah. And the points definitely help. So yeah, I think some teams are just they feel less pressure to put in their other player this split, and I think it's not as important, so it's like less risk as well.
So what is it like having is it 2 new subs for support come in?
Yeah.
We
That's
have
good.
Stunt and Shady.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both really, I guess, social people, so it's nice talking to them. They're
That's good.
really nice, and they seem like they're both hardworking, so that's like a good trade.
And Shady, I don't think we hear much about him.
Yeah, so Shady came
He
from...
seems Shady. What a name. Why wouldn't you choose Shady?
I think his name is A Shady.
A Shady.
A Shady?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. Okay.
But he came from Robert Morris University, which is also where, before Zig was on Team Dynamic a long time ago, he was also at RMU. So this is not really a reunion, but it's interesting that both those players came from that place.
Hold on. Is P1 becoming like the Canadian team? It's like, you guys probably represent us.
2 out of 5 positions, right?
Is that the most?
We used to have a lot before, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Mash was on the team.
Yeah, back then it was Mash. Gabe was Canadian in a way.
Yep.
In a
He was
way.
an honorary. He was an honorary Canadian.
He was so nice,
Yeah.
he's got to be Canadian.
He
Like,
went to UBC for a while, the University of British Columbia,
Right.
wow,
and he was there for like
represent.
3 to 4 years.
All right.
Yeah, I mean we got some Canadians here, so
But going back,
back to
to Stunt and Shady, you've seen them for a little bit now. They came in at exactly the same time, basically. How was it decided between those 2 players who got the starting position last week? Was it a similar thing where to the jungler position where the coaches decided? Was it a play style thing, basically who fit the play style of the team before the trade more? Like who fit Adrian's play style maybe the most, or who is in the mold of Adrian the most, or was it something else entirely?
I think we got Shady a bit later, so we had more practice with Stunned.
Right.
So I'm not sure how the situation is going to look like in the future. They're both going to play their best, and we'll just see how it works with the team. Same thing for like jungle situation. Whoever like whatever iteration is like the best, you just kind of put the pieces together like that.
Seem pretty good with the flow. Now, actually, here's something that kind of is crazy. Currently in the standings, P1 is 3rd place, right behind TSM and C9.
Is that
Isn't
crazy?
it? Well, I mean, it's kind of crazy considering. No, I'm not claiming. I'm just saying, like, compared to last year, like, look how much you guys have grown, right? Like, last year you guys were almost facing relegations, and now they're 3rd place. So, Inori, you've been there for the whole, duration of this time. You've seen the team grow. What does it mean to you, or how do you feel about the fact that you guys are in 3rd place right now?
It's alright. I mean, when I came to P1, we didn't really lose as many games. I wasn't there for like the losing most of the part.
Yeah.
So like when I came, I felt like we were winning a lot. Obviously, the standings were representing like the past losses. So for me, it felt like we were like 5-4. So I was like, yeah, it's alright.
You're like, my personal record is...
Yeah, it's like my record stepping in. So it's like I was like, it's not bad. But yeah, going this high in the standings is kind of like I didn't kind of expect it. It's kind of surprising. So
Why?
I'm happy. I think we're all happy.
Why didn't
Everyone-
you expect it?
I just never thought about it too much. I was just thinking about like how to like get better and like things I need to work on, and like I don't really think about like, oh, are we gonna be first? Are we gonna be second? Are we gonna be third? I was just kind of like going with the flow about that too, and it's I don't know. I try to like not think about too much other stuff because it just like starts to get distracting.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if you're like trying to practice a lot and stuff like that.
You guys are now in 3rd place. Actually, I wanted to throw it back to an interview that you did, I think, on the LCS stage. Was it Freak was asking you how you felt because Acadian... It was against Echo Fox. That's what happened. So
Okay.
you guys beat Echo Fox, and apparently Acadian in one of his interviews were like, Inori is a washed-up jungler. He's not even that good. And Inori, what your response I thought was really great. He was like... Oh, you were like... talk is all talk. It only matters when you go on stage. And you also said how you want to be a person or a jungler that, is positive and is respectable. So I'm curious to where this kind of approach or perspective came from.
I felt like, I don't know, I've been playing a lot of NA solo queue. I realized how many toxic players there were, and like
Oof.
I felt like if I was adding to it, it was like I wasn't helping the issue at all, and I felt like it was an issue. So I felt like someone needed to kind of like say it wasn't okay, like one person from the perspective, because I think junglers especially are more toxic than other roles because they get like all the flame and stuff.
Yep.
So
all the lanes flame them.
you get it's like you tend to be a lot more like aggressive too, and I just said it because like that's kind of like the approach I was taking. I felt like I don't know, a lot of kids look up to LCS players, and like if you talk like that on interviews and features, like if you trash talk people on like LCS stage, then it's like they kind of get that misunderstanding that like, oh, if he's saying it on LCS stage, maybe it's okay to say it into like my game. So I don't want to like pull that kind of stuff into like solo queue or like the League of Legends NA server. I kind of want it to be like people don't kind of see it as okay. It's like I kind of want them to feel like it's better to be humble than it is to be toxic. So that was kind of like my approach, because I think a lot of young people like watch LCS players play, and like it's really easy to like, if you're acting like that and they like you and they think you're cool and they think you're the hottest shit, then of course if you start acting like that, they're gonna copy your actions. Like I had a little brother, so I understood like how these kids just, if they see you, they'll copy everything you do, and like I want them to copy like my positive things. I don't want them to copy my negatives.
Yeah.
So like I just try to show as many positive things on stage so they can have like better things to copy and apply to themselves.
You want the wholesome memes, not the trash
The
talk.
wholesome memes, yeah. Not the trash. I mean, trash talk is nice. It's just like I feel like it can be like more creative. If it's creative, I like it. I like people who can be creative about trash talking, and I wouldn't mind trash talking back if it's in like a really good sense. But I feel like if it's just like banter, it's just like whatever.
Yeah, if it's in good spirits, right?
It's like if you tell me beforehand, like you want to say something, like prepare me for it. I'm like, okay, like I'll come up with something smart too, and we can kind of like seem like we're not stupid when we're saying our trash talking. So, and then it's just like if it says like that, I'm okay with it. But in sense, like it shouldn't be like consistently just like one-sided. I feel like if it's two-sided, it's a lot better.
What I'm hearing is that Inori wants to do a trash talk rap battle. That's what I'm getting from
Why
this.
a rap battle?
Just because
you
he's
just
like...
you just inserted the rap
I just added the
element.
rap part.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, tell me what you're going to say, and I'm going to prepare a rebuttal.
Yeah,
and then we'll throw
go
back
back
some
and forth.
prepared, disses.
We should do that.
Let's not talk about that.
Stuff like, but like I like LCK trash talking too, because it's like not like it's just so subtle. Like it's not like it doesn't seem like toxic. It doesn't seem like trash talking. It's just like they're being honest.
Yeah.
And it was like
even within the team too, like when Bang was trying to get his 1000th kill and Faker's like, you have to earn it. Like
he trash talked his own teammate.
Yeah, exactly.
I like stuff like that. And
yeah. Well, actually, perfect. Speaking of trash talk, the king of trash talk has returned to the LCS.
Oh boy.
Doublelift made his return this week on Team Liquid. Inori, thoughts on that? Were you surprised as the rest of us were?
No, I kind of had a feeling they might get someone better, because like Youngbin was like, he was okay. I honestly thought he played way better than expected, but like he wasn't enough to carry that team out of the depths of like relegation.
Right.
I think it was Doublelift. He was not even fully there yet too, but now with Adrian on top of it, I think they can get out of relegation zone. And I don't think they can make it to playoffs. I don't think Team TL threw enough money at it yet, but for it to get into playoffs. But I definitely think with Doublelift and Adrian bot lane, they can get out of relegations.
On that note, the Adrian and Doublelift bot lane, how do you think they will work well together, especially since you've played with Adrian before too?
I think they should be fine. I don't know how aggressive Doublelift is. From watching him at LCK or LCS, he looked kind of passive. Maybe it's because he wasn't comfortable
getting
on
used
LCS.
to it.
Yeah. So I think Adrian's a pretty like good passive support. So like if they kind of play like slow and just let Adrian get like ward coverage and control vision with Reignover, I think they'll do really well. I don't think Adrian's bad. I think he has his strong points and his weak points, and I think his strong points are working with the jungler, and I think him and Reignover will work really well together.
Doublelift is also coming into the LCS, like, coming into his stride in a meta where utility ADs are kind of disappearing, and we're getting back like the Ezreals, the Caitlyn's. Do you think that helps him as well and helps Adrian as well with their game plan?
for the most part, but Ezreal is like one of the scaling ADs kind of thing. So like he's used to more of like a Lucian carry style where it's like from level 1 you're just gonna shit on the other opponent.
Yeah, yeah.
But Ezreal is more of like a I'm gonna get shit on early, and then when I get 2 items, I'm gonna kind of shit on you, but then when I get full items, I win the game kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like that's Ezreal, and I think it should help them a lot, but I still think utility ADs are not that bad, and I don't know if Lucian's gonna be popular again, and I guess we'll have to see. His range is really short, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to like make him work.
Though a lot of people are playing Sivir now into utility ADs, so
Really?
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see about that.
All right. We'll see if you guys can predict it. But going back to Adrian, I'm curious to, now that Adrian's on Team Liquid, how has him leaving P1 affected the team?
I don't know. He was. What can I say?
Whether it's, in terms of play or maybe the environment.
Yeah, but
like-
I think he definitely had a lot of experience. So like him leaving, like there's like some big shoes to fill, and I think, I'm confident in the supports we have here that they will fill those shoes well. And yeah, I think we should be fine. Like I think last week showed it was like
More than
kind of like
fine.
unchanged. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not trying to bring him down in
Of
a
course
sense. I
not.
think he was good. He had his strong points as well, and like I think he will do well with Team Liquid, but I think we should do well as well.
So what you're
Everyone
saying
will do
is
fine.
you'll see him in Vancouver. Is that what's happening?
I don't think TL's gonna make it.
Ew.
Well, let me see their standing. I mean, let me see the schedule.
I think
I'm
they're
pretty sure they have a hard schedule.
They have a very hard schedule, and Immortals has a pretty hard schedule as well. And
I know TL
Envious has to win certain games in order for Team Liquid to to be considered. So
TL plays us, and they play Team Dignitas.
is that this week?
Oh yeah, no, it's coming up. Yeah, you guys are facing each other.
Yeah,
already?
we faced each other this weekend.
So
And also-
And
Play.
Adrian has been confirmed
Yeah,
to be starting this
he will
weekend
be starting.
as well.
So looking forward to that match. What do you think of how that's gonna go?
It's hard to say. I don't know.
Is
I
it
feel
really
like,
hard to say?
I think everyone else here is gonna try.
I mean,
harder this weekend.
you've seen Doublelift in the LCS, in his prime, etc., and faced off against that. And you're working with Arrow, who many people consider to be the best AD carry in North America right now. How do you think those two match up in particular?
I mean, Arrow's a god, man. I think Arrow's the best. I think Doublelift is really good. Like, there's no doubt he's like super good AD carry, but like right now, like Arrow's so good. Like, I think he's the best in the league. So I think Doublelift needs like some time before.
Shake the rust off.
Yeah, well, he's just like new into the split, so like I don't have a good understanding of where he stands among AD carries. So like, I think in summer split we'll see a lot more, but right now it's like, I just know Arrow's the best. So like, Doublelift is, he has to like, we'll see this weekend how well he plays too and how it goes.
Can't get worse, right?
Yeah.
Like after
Hopefully
they had
not.
1 day of practice before their last series. Well,
That's true.
Their first series
Really?
together.
Yeah.
So can't get any worse. But speaking of comparing, to each other players, I'm gonna throw a random question at you. How do you feel right now that you stack amongst other junglers in NA?
I don't really have a good standing point for myself. I try not to rank myself because I feel like I haven't been playing like myself recently, so it's hard to kind of get a good assessment. I think I'll get a lot better over time. I think watching Meteos play and like listening to his communication should help me a lot, and I think I have a lot to learn from him. So
You get to listen to comms too.
yeah,
When you're,
I think the biggest thing is I get to listen to his comms, and he has like such good comms that I'm learning so much from just listening to that, and I feel like I have a good opportunity where I can like learn from like a veteran, like superstar jungler kind of thing. So like I'm pretty excited to work with him and to see where this goes, and I think I'll improve a lot over time.
I never really noticed or I guess identified that communication was a huge problem for P1. I don't know if that's something that
you can never really tell just because you don't have access to LCS comms like the normal person, the average fan. Aside from mic check, which is obviously edited and cut to be humorous, right, or not as informative. So
it's not so much as communication is a problem. It's like he shows that there's so much more you can do with communication, which can help your team a lot. So like, I would say the basics of things, like I would just like call some positionings, like track junglers. Like I would do it to like the medium point. Like I would do okay job. I wouldn't do a great job. I wouldn't do a bad job. I just do okay job. But he does a super good job. So it's like I kind of see like he is at this level of communication. So like it helps the team in X way, and I need to kind of bring myself to this level of communication. And also like if I bring my skill up to like higher level as well, while my communication is high, it's like kind of the best of both worlds. Because I think a jungler needs good communication and good mechanics, and that's like the two most important things. And if I can get both of them really well, I think my skill is really, it's not bad right now. I just think my communication can use a lot of work, and I think watching Meteos play should help me a lot.
Now, I want to bring it back to the fact that P1 right now is in 3rd place, and TSM and C9 are in, I think they're tied for 1st, right? Are they tied?
Yes.
I think they're tied.
So
is the gap, what's the gap between the top, I guess, tied teams and you guys? Because you guys are facing them, I think, in the last week of the league. So how confident are you feeling facing them in week 9?
Yeah, I don't think the gap's that big. We watched TSM play against like
Envy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Was it Immortals too? Was it Immortals too that they had a?
Yeah, but that was like Rengar choose. I feel like TSM has like a like when Rengar gets picked on the enemy team, TSM kind of just like doesn't know what to do. They just forget to use. But I think we're pretty close. I don't think it's like the difference is that high. I think the league in general is really close. That's why you see like bottom tier teams take games off top tier teams. I think on a good day, some teams can beat top tier teams on a bad day, kind of thing.
I hear that a lot, that there's kind of, equality or equity in a sense between the NA LCS. Do you find that that's also true between like the top CS teams, the two going into the promotion tournament, and the NA LCS, or is that simply just the NA LCS itself being kind of equal in power level?
I don't know too much about Challenger because we don't get good ways to see that much. I think for LCS it's kind of the same because in general, like how you're feeling the week before is pretty important. Like if your scrims are going well, if your practice is good, if your picks are good, like if some other team were having bad practice, bad picks, bad everything, bad environment, then it's like they're not going to play the same on LCS. So I think some good teams can go through bad phases. And if a bad team is going through a good phase and they play each other, like you never know who's gonna win.
Speaking of, you just said how like the environment has a huge impact on performance. So I noticed that recently you've tweeted out that you've been having a couple of rough weeks. So how have you been dealing with that personally?
Yeah, I think it's not so much the environment here; it's mostly like my situation. It's like it was hard for me to like kind of. Like I just really wanted to play kind of thing. I didn't see myself kind of being like a sub-starter jungle situation, so it was just hard for me to kind of accept it. But now it's like I've come to terms with it and like accept it as like the way to go, and I should just make the best out of what I have right now. So, and I realized more as like I was watching Meteos play. It's like I can learn a lot from him. So I'm like happy I get the opportunity to try to learn as much as I can from Meteos and like improve as much as I can as a player.
How important was the starting position for you versus, I guess, seeing the team succeed as a whole?
Yeah, it's a bittersweet feeling when you see your team succeed without you, and it was just hard for me to kind of like accept it. I felt like I wanted myself to be like more important on the team, like the roster situation. Even like I felt like I just wanted to feel like, oh, they need me kind of thing. But then I realized they don't need me, and I was like, it wasn't I was bad. It was just like they brought in someone who was like so good at communication. His skill was still good for how little he played.
Right.
And like they didn't really need me in a sense. They just needed a good communication and a good skilled jungler kind of thing. So like I'm just kind of working up my way on that level, and once I get to that level, it's like I think I'll be a lot better too.
Did this realization coincide with your time away from the house? You know, you went back to Vancouver, obviously, to help take care of your mom, which is fantastic, and I hope she's doing okay as well. I was just wondering, like, were there any life lessons or anything you pulled from that trip as well, from that break of sorts while you were there?
Yeah, I watched a lot of sports documentaries. Like, I thought it was a good way to kind of learn from people. I watched Iverson one, and I watched Linsanity. I thought the Iverson one was really good. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you watch the 30 for 30, the O.J. Simpson documentary?
No, I didn't watch it.
It's so good.
I just watched some Netflix ones, and like, yeah, no, I really liked them because like they showed where they failed, and like I felt like I was going through such similar situations that applied. Because they're both competitions in a sense, so you go through the same struggles. And I saw his struggles and how he coped with it and how he got through it. And I got to hear through his like opinion and his kind of like how he dealt with it. And I learned a lot from like watching them. Like it sounds kind of silly, but it actually like I saw a lot of stuff that like could apply to my situation. I learned like, especially being humble. No matter how good you are is the most important thing, because you never know what can happen next, and just staying humble can keep you on like a good level of like your mental state. And I'm trying to like keep my mental state as like calm as possible, because you don't notice it, but like your mental state can go like haywire like randomly if some things are going on around yourself. But if you can keep it on like a stable state, you can like perform as like at your optimal level. So I'm trying to like make sure it's like as good as I can, and the sports documentaries helped a lot. And like yeah, the break was nice. Like my mom, I got to see her, she's okay, everything went well for her.
That's good.
And yeah, after I think like it was a week maybe, I came back, and I've been trying as hard as I can. Not so much the week I got back, I think it's this week I've been trying like as hard as I can, because like I think last week it was kind of hard for me to kind of accept the situation as it was. But now it's like I've kind of come to terms with it, so it should be a lot better for me.
Now this is kind of bringing up maybe a bigger issue where we see a lot of players, for example, like Doublelift, he took a break from the scene. And I think Reckless was very public on Twitter as well about the struggles he's going through, because they're going through, I think, a slump.
The team is going through a slump right now. He feels like it's all on his shoulders in a sense.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I guess players are often faced with this moment where this kind of struggle, where maybe it's a lot of pressure, you know, they feel really down. At that point, what is available to players to help them get through this? Like, how can they approach the situation?
Yeah, or how does the staff approach the situation as well?
Too.
Speaking through my perspective, I think I needed a break because I let my mental state get to a point where it's like irreversible. Like I wasn't getting out of the mindset that I needed to get out of. Like I was just not concentrating on like improving. I was just focusing on like the scrim games, which was unimportant. I should focus on just getting better from them. And it was just like I recognized I was getting to a bad mental state too, and then it was like I had too much stuff going on in my life, and I was like I need to reset. Like I need to make sure to like I can get everything out of the way before I come back, so I can just give it my all. So I got to go back, and I got all my stuff sorted out, and it was much better for me. I think some players need a break. Like it's pretty stressful. Like you have to play scrim blocks like 8 hours a day, and then you have to play solo queue like 4 more hours, and like your whole day is like just sitting on a computer. And like some people don't get exercise and stuff, which I think it's really important as well. And yeah, it's like it's easy to get into like a bad state of mind. And some of these players, they just need like a way to fix it. And I think a break helps a lot from my perspective.
Do you think this is a chronic problem with the NA LCS or LCS in general? Like, do players maybe feel the same way and don't speak out about it as much, or?
I don't think it's this LCS. I think in general it's just such a stressful job and like such a stressful environment, because like it's a performance-based environment. So like when you're not performing, obviously you're gonna feel so much more stress, and like people don't really know how to handle like their mental state of mind, because a lot of these guys are just young kids who got into like professional gaming, and they didn't really learn these kind of like work lessons till later, that like this is a job, this is your job, you have to work like this many hours. Like it's not for fun anymore, it's just like straight your job. So it's like it's hard for some people. But yeah, and also like if you get into the wrong state of mind, it can just like go really bad.
Right.
You also brought up exercise, how important that is. I guess for you, you said that you've been using exercise as a way to, I guess, release the stress.
Yep.
So
yeah, and NA LCS, I feel like that's a new thing. Growing up, like everyone seems to be working out.
Everyone's going to the gym together.
Is it like a club? Are you guys starting some sort of movement?
I think a lot of people are getting like performance coaches, and they're like pitching the exercise idea, because I mean, you know, the saying is like healthy body, healthy mind.
Yep,
and I agree with it. It applies in a sense. Like I think if you work out and you keep your body healthy, it can help your cognitive functions, and it can improve your like ability in game, because it like lets you think more clearly, and it like releases a lot of stress. And like I think it's really good to like go to the gym if you have time, and or just getting any exercise in general can help your body so much, because like you're literally sitting on a chair for like 12 hours a day. That's so unhealthy for you, and not going out is pretty bad. So I think it's pretty important to get some exercise.
Does the team exercise together?
Yeah, we go to gym every now and then, I think.
Wow. Who's the coach? You know, there's always one guy that's like, hey, you're benching the wrong way.
Who's your spotter? Who's your spotter? I
go with Derek a lot, and
true roomies.
Yeah.
We have like a minivan, so we all roll up in the minivan. We just
squad approaching the gym.
Chad the soccer mom.
Yeah. Drives around.
That's hilarious. You guys should put out a video of you guys at the gym. I think that'd be really funny.
That would be
squad
pretty cool.
video.
Yeah.
I'm pitching that idea. If you guys do it, please credit theScore esports. Just saying.
Or just Lisa.
Or just me, Lisa, theScore esports. I think we have a couple of questions here. There's actually one person that wrote in the YouTube live. They have a question for you, Inori. What is a jungler's role in the current meta in competitive and rank 5s?
I think in competitive is like your main job is like keep your laners safe, because if you just have straight up better laners, then you'll just win the game if you keep them safe. And then like your second job will be to snowball a lane. If you feel not confident that like if your scaling is worse, you need to snowball something, then your second most important role is to just get advantages and force things to happen on the map early game. So if you feel like your laners are better, you feel like you're a stronger team, better late game, try to play the counter jungle or the counter gank measures. And if you're scared that the enemy jungle will get ganks off, or your team is not going to lane well, then you should play the aggressive role and try to gank your lanes.
That's some good advice.
Pretty good, yeah.
Do you think, like, were you always drawn to the jungler role because that kind of suited your personality? Or did you ever role change, actually?
Yeah, I was a mid main in season. Well, I wasn't really a full-on position main. I just kind of played a bunch of roles. I got like challenger was like mid, so like this was back when it was like 50 people, so it was like much different, and I felt like my skill was pretty good. And then like my friends took me to this local LAN in Vancouver, and they're like, you know, we need a jungler though. Like you're really good. You could probably just play jungle and be better than everyone here. I'm like, yeah. And then I played it, and I was like, actually, I like this role, and I kept playing in solo queue, and it just kind of like grew on me, because like it was a lot less mid mains and jungle mains back then.
Yeah.
So I got my role all the time. So that was like the biggest like pro to it. But now it's like so many jungle mains that it's like I'm just another jungler now.
Not just any other one. Yeah. No, he's the Zen jungler now. He's become Ivern.
Don't say that. Speaking of your humble beginnings.
Yeah, we wanted to ask as well, this kind of goes into the trade deadline discussion that we had earlier. One of the other moves was Swifty, a OneTrick Thresh, joining Dignitas as a support sub. Now, a lot of people have said in the past when you started jungling that you were a OneTrick Rengar. Like you focused on Rengar, you loved Rengar. Maybe not the cat in your house, but the champion. And Shady as well, if I recall correctly, used to play like just Morgana. And so I was curious as to whether you think being a OneTrick may increase your chances to joining an LCS team because it gives you like the mechanics or whatever to start participating in a team, or whether this is just happenstance and coincidence and teams are just looking for people who perform the best regardless of their champion pool.
I think people have a bad impression of what OneTricks really are. There's this guy on NA, his name is Diamond One Kha'Zix.
Yeah.
He plays only Kha'Zix.
Yep.
If he gets any other champ besides Kha'Zix, he will dodge the game. He has 500 games of only Kha'Zix. That is a OneTrick. I see people say like, oh, he plays,
He's challenger.
60 games this, but only plays 20 games that. He's a OneTrick that first one. No. He's a main of that champion. He does not OneTrick that champ. So like, I feel a lot of people thought I was OneTricking Rengar, but I just mained Rengar. So it's like, there's this one difference where it's like the OneTrick and one main, because I mained Rengar. I liked him a lot, but I think Shady mains Morgana. I don't necessarily think he OneTricks it, because like, if you one-trick something, you're not going to learn anything else. Like,
right.
I know there's some people who one-trick, like this one guy named like Nick One. He's like a Fiddlesticks one-trick. I try to teach him like to play another champ, but he's like, I literally cannot play other champs. Right? I'm like, because it's like he plays that one champ, like only that one champ exclusively, and that's like a true one-trick. If you're like learning other champions, you can win games casually on other champions. You're not really a one-trick, but. Yeah, going back to your question, I think it's fine, because I think he is like, it shows his good qualities. I think it depends on what champion you like main as well, because
right.
like it can apply. A lot of mechanics are repeated in League of Legends, so like you play like it's transferable. And I think if you play kind of like a more high intensity mechanical champion, like it transfers over a lot.
Yeah.
It's like if I was like one tricking like, Heimerdinger, it's like, oh shit, like none of this shit transfers. Like I can't swap at all. Like this, I gotta stick to my guns. And
you hear that,
that's
Ryan?
that's kind of like how it is. Like it's just like a lot of shit transfers over. That's why you see Lee Sin one tricks. They play Lee Sin, and then it's like, oh, I gotta play other stuff. No problem. I play the hardest champion in the game, so it's not hard to transfer over skills based off how high mechanical the champion is. And I think it really depends if they're actually one tricks or they're just champion mains. Because like if they're one tricks and they only like specifically play like this one champ, then it's like probably impossible to teach him anything else. But if he's a main who just recently was like, I like Morgana, like, or I like Rengar, it's like I want to play Rengar a lot today or this like past month, and it's like he can still learn other stuff, so it's like not as bad, and I think it should be good.
Cool. That's an interesting perspective.
There's a difference between main and one trick. We need to stop mixing
difference is
two.
like 20
Everyone
games.
calls me like a Rengar one trick so much that I'm like, I'm not. If you look, I used to be a mid main. How did I play Rengar back then when it wasn't out? Like, it's kind of silly, because like I feel like it's getting the wrong idea behind it. I feel like there are real one tricks who play like only that one champion. So like, yeah.
It also feels like such a pointless criticism. Like, for example, you just throw that out there, and that's kind of the extent of your criticism, and it doesn't really ever expand beyond that. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's just a one trick, or it's just whatever, and that doesn't really actually help me understand the weakness of that particular player as a result. So I think it's kind of a misnomer as well.
And like, maybe we should just stop saying it with such a negative tone. Like, maybe they just love one champion. What's the problem with being a one trick? You know, it doesn't have to be a negative thing.
Yeah, that's
and then they're like, oh, he plays Kha'Zix too. He's a 2-trick now. Like, does that end? Does it go up to 12 trick? Like, for them, it's like, it doesn't really make sense. They don't even understand the meaning of the word anymore. It's like, they just use it because it's just been thrown around kind of thing. Yeah. That's how I feel about the community and OneTricks.
Yeah, that's true. We're standing up for OneTricks right now.
I'm pro OneTrick.
All right, well, I guess to wrap it up, let's look towards the future. So I think you guys have 4 more games left.
Yeah.
Inori, how are you feeling going into those weeks?
I feel pretty good. I think I'm like trying to improve as much as I can, and I'm trying to learn as much as I can from Meteos. And he's really a cool guy, and he's really open to like talking. And I think he's just also a really good jungler as well. So I'm excited to work with him. I'm excited to work with the P1 org, everyone here, the coaching staff as well. I don't think our coaching staff gets that much credit, but I think like Fly, for example, is such a good coach, and he's a really quiet guy, so you don't hear much from him, but he's also like a big influence on the team.
Are you going to take the team around to all the hot spots in Vancouver when you get there, being the only person who kind of knows?
I already let them know what we're doing. I planned it ahead.
Yeah. Oh, you got like a whole itinerary that you printed out?
Because we were planning to go to Vancouver before, and then it's like the finals are in Vancouver. I'm like, Chad, man, like, I know where to go. We're going to do this on this day and that on that day.
Tacofino.
What? Give us some hints. What are you guys going to be doing?
We're going to play League of Legends.
Oh!
We're going to go to play more League of Legends.
That's the spirit.
Right.
That's the spirit. I like that.
All right, you win. All right, thank you so much for joining us today, Inori. It was great talking to you. We hope to have you
Thanks
back
for having me.
one day for sure. And best
Cheers.
of luck
Thank you.
in the next
yes,
2 weeks.
Best of luck.
And you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We want to hear all of your suggestions and feedback. We read all the comments, so you guys definitely go in and tell us what you think. We'll be back next week with another podcast, another week.
And more funky music.
More funky music. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next week.